The gun clicks. Cold metal pressed against Oma Cynthia's temple. Choose, young. Hajun's voice cuts through the marble foyer like ice. The Empire or her? She's on her knees, hands zip-tied behind her back. Blood trickles down her dark cheek from where one of the Park family's men struck her. The crimson stands out against her rich brown skin. A girl who shouldn't be here, caught between two brothers who've just drawn weapons on each other. Over her, Seojun's jaw clenches. His Glock aims steady at his twin's chest. Put it down, Hajun. Now. You're weak. Hajun spits the words like venom. His finger hovers over the trigger pressed to Cynthia's skull. Father was right about you. You let this African maid make you soft. She stays, Seojun says quietly, deadly calm. That's final. Hajun laughs. It sounds broken. You'd burn everything father built? For a debt payment who scrubs toilets. The words hit Cynthia like physical blows. Because he's right, isn't he? She's just the help. A dark-skinned girl from Lagos who doesn't belong in their world of blood money and designer violence. Last chance, Hajun growls. The gun digs harder. Choose the family, young. Choose survival. Or I pull this trigger. Seojun's hand doesn't shake. You won't shoot her. Try me. I love her, Seojun says. The words detonate like grenades. Hajun's mask fractures. Raw pain flashes across his face. You what? I love her. Seojun's voice rises. I've loved her since the day she threw soup at my head and called me a privileged demon with nice cheekbones. That's not real, Hajun protests, but his voice wavers. I can. I do. Seojun lowers his weapon. And I know you love her too. The gun trembles against Cynthia's skin. I've watched you, Seojun continues. The way you make sure she eats. How you had Chef Kim learn Nigerian recipes. Your nightmares stopped after she started reading to you. Shut up. Hajun's voice cracks. You bought her that jade bracelet and left it unsigned because you're terrified of feeling anything. The gun drops. Hajun stumbles backward, chest heaving. His eyes glisten with unshed tears. Cynthia gasps for air. She's a debt payment, Hajun whispers. We can't. Human. Seojun finishes. He kneels beside Cynthia, working at her zip ties. You're right. We've been monsters. But she makes me want to be better. The ties fall away. Cynthia should run. Instead, she looks up at Hajun, the brutal enforcer who killed 6 men to save her sister, who touches her like she's made of glass even though he breaks bones for a living. Why? Her voice trembles. Why do you both? Because you're real, Seojun says softly. In a world of lies and violence, you're the only real thing we've ever touched. The front door explodes inward. Glass shatters. Armed men in black tactical gear flood the foyer. 8, 10, 12 of them. Red laser sights paint the walls. Park family soldiers. The lead man, scarred face, cruel smile, points his assault rifle at them. The Beck brothers. And their little African pet. How convenient. Seojun shoves Cynthia behind him. But they're outnumbered. You dare enter our home? Hajun snarls. You're home. The scarred man laughs. After tonight, this'll be Park property. His eyes slide to Cynthia. Hungry. Including her. Over my corpse, Seojun growls. That's the plan. Welcome to Afro-Korean love stories. If you're loving this story and you want to find out what happens next, quickly hit that like button and subscribe, because what you're about to watch would leave you wondering. Tell me in the comments which city you're watching from. I'd really love to know. Now, let's dive into this amazing story. 8 weeks earlier, Oma Cynthia had never heard of the Beck family. She was in Atlanta. Graduate student. 2 jobs. Normal life. Then Uncle Obi knocked at midnight with gray face and shaking hands. Cynthia, I made a mistake. He'd borrowed 12 million won from a Seoul loan shark. It ballooned to 80 million. The men who came to collect wore $1,000 suits and smiled like sharks. The Beck twins. 2 identical Korean men in her hallway. Devastatingly handsome. Dressed in all black. Your uncle owes us 80 million won. The one on the left said smoothly. Roughly $60,000. I don't have that, Cynthia stammered. We know. He stepped closer. Which is why we're offering an alternative. You come with us. Work off the debt. 3 years. And if I refuse? Your uncle disappears. The one on the right said flatly. Along with your sister. The Beck family doesn't forgive debt. She'd packed a suitcase. Boarded their private jet. Landed in Seoul 14 hours later. The mansion was beautiful. 8 bedrooms. Marble everything. Views of the Han River. It was a prison. Your room, Seojun, the left twin, said, opening a door to a space larger than her entire apartment. The keypad changes daily. Hajun, the right twin, added coldly. You're not to leave without permission. So, I'm a prisoner. You're collateral, Hajun corrected. There's a difference. That first month was hell. Mrs. Choi, the stern head housekeeper, worked her brutal hours. 5 a.m. wake-ups.
Clean. Serve.
Scrub until her hands bled. The staff whispered. Placed bets on how long before one of the twins broke her in. But weeks passed. Neither brother touched her. Seojun was always polite. Too polite. He'd thank her. Ask about her day. Teach her Korean phrases over breakfast. Hajun barely acknowledged her. Just grunts and silence. Then week 6 changed everything. Cynthia found photographs in Hajun's office. A young boy with bruises. Cigarette burns. Their father's hand around his throat. Years of documented abuse. What are you doing? Hajun appeared in the doorway, voice deadly. I didn't mean. Get out. She ran. But that night at 3 a.m., she found him in the library. Scars crisscrossing his bare chest. You saw them, he said quietly. She nodded.
He's dead now.
Our father. Seojun thinks I'm free. Hajun stared at the city lights. But I'm not. Trauma doesn't disappear, Cynthia said softly. My parents died when I was 9. I had nightmares for years. My father used to read to me. It helped. She held up her book. Would you like me to read to you? Hajun stared, then whispered. Yes. It became their routine. Every night, she'd read. He'd listen. His nightmares faded. And everything changed. Seojun noticed the change in his brother immediately. Hajun stopped disappearing for days. Started eating breakfast with them. Even smiled once, a real smile, when Cynthia accidentally knocked over a vase and cursed in Igbo. What are you doing to him? Seojun asked one morning. Cynthia was cutting fruit. I'm not doing anything. You're making him human again. Seojun moved closer, studying her. In our world, Hajun is a weapon. But you see something different. I see someone who is hurt. She met his eyes. Just like I see someone who pretends to be okay when he's drowning. Seojun's breath caught. What? You think I don't notice? How you pour whiskey but never drink it. How your hands shake before calls with the elders. How you apologize for things that aren't your fault. His mask slipped. You're dangerous, Oma Cynthia. Why? Because you make me want impossible things. He left before she could respond. But she felt it too. That pull. That terrifying attraction to both brothers. It should have disgusted her. They'd kidnapped her. Owned her. But Seojun brought her plantains from markets 2 hours away. Secretly enrolled her in online classes. Played old Nollywood films because he'd researched her culture. Hajun beat a staff member unconscious for making racist comments about her skin. Left Korean sweets outside her door. Installed a phone line so she could call her sister weekly. They were monsters. They were men. And she was falling. The breaking point came in week 8. Cynthia's younger sister Adana called, voice frantic. Cynthia, there are men outside our house. They have guns. They're asking about you. Her blood went cold. Lock the doors. Call the police. They are the police. Adana sobbed. They say Uncle Obi owes them too. They want me instead. The phone went dead. Cynthia's scream brought both twins running. The Park family, Seojun said after she explained, jaw tight. They're trying to pressure us through your family. We need to get her out. Hajun stated, already moving toward the weapons cabinet. It's a trap, Seojun warned. They want us to react emotionally, make mistakes. I don't care. Hajun loaded his Glock with practiced efficiency. We're going. She's my sister, Cynthia pleaded. She's only 17. Please. Seojun's expression softened. We'll get her back. I promise. They mobilized in 15 minutes. 2 armored SUVs. 8 armed men. The twins in tactical gear that made them look like avenging angels. You stay here, Hajun ordered Cynthia. Like hell. This isn't negotiable. His voice was steel. If something happens to us, Mrs. Choi has instructions. You'll be sent home. The debt cleared. I don't want the debt cleared. I want my sister safe. Tears streamed down Cynthia's face. Please, just bring her back. Seojun cupped her face gently. We will. I swear it. Then they were gone. The next 4 hours were torture. Cynthia paced the foyer. Mrs. Choi tried making her eat. Chef Kim brought tea she couldn't drink. The staff whispered nervously. Finally, headlights swept the driveway. 1 SUV returned. Only one. Cynthia's heart stopped as Seojun stumbled out, supporting Hajun, who was bleeding from his shoulder. Behind them, 2 men carried Adana. Cynthia ran. Her sister was alive.
Bruised but alive.
They collapsed into each other's arms, sobbing. What happened? Cynthia demanded once Adana was settled with the medic. Seojun's face was grim. Ambush. The parks had 20 men waiting. We lost 4 of ours. Hajun. Bullet went through. Hajun grimaced as the doctor cleaned his wound. I'll live. He killed 6 of them, Seojun said quietly. Saved your sister when they tried using her as a shield. Cynthia looked at Hajun. This brutal man who just risked everything for a girl he barely knew. Because she mattered to Cynthia. Why? She whispered. Hajun's eyes met hers.
Raw.
Vulnerable. Because losing you would destroy me. And losing her would destroy you. The confession hung in the air. Hajun, Seojun started.
No.
Hajun cut him off. I'm done pretending. Done being the emotionless enforcer. He stood, ignoring the doctor's protests. Crossed to Cynthia. I love you. I don't know when it happened. Maybe that first night you read to me. Maybe when you looked at my scars and didn't flinch. But I love you. Cynthia couldn't breathe. We both do, Seojun added softly. He joined them. Which is impossible and complicated and probably insane. But it's true. You own me, Cynthia said. I'm your debt payment. This isn't, it can't be real. Seojun pulled something from his pocket. A document. The contract her uncle signed. He held it over a candle flame. The paper caught fire. Burned. Turned to ash. You're not our property, Seojun said firmly. You never were. Not really. The debt is gone. You're free to leave right now if you want. Cynthia stared at the ashes. Her freedom, right there. And if I stay? Then you stay because you choose to, Hajun said. His hand found hers. Warm. Solid. Not because you have to. Because you want us the way we want you. Both of you. Both of us, Seojun confirmed. His hand covered their joined ones. I know it's not conventional. But nothing about this is. Cynthia's mind spun. This was crazy. They were mafia bosses. Killers. Men who trafficked in violence and blood money. But they were also the men who saved her sister. Who learned her language. Who held her when she cried for home. I need time, she whispered. To think. To process. Take all the time you need, Seojun said gently. Hajun nodded, even though pain flickered in his eyes. They stepped back, giving her space. Cynthia fled to her room. Adana followed. They love you, her sister said after Cynthia explained everything. Like, actually love you. I saw it. The way that one Hajun, he fought like a demon to get to me. Kept screaming that if I died, you'd never forgive him. It's Stockholm Syndrome, Cynthia argued. Or trauma bonding or... Is it? Adana challenged. Because from where I'm sitting, you love them too.
Did she?
Cynthia thought about Seojun's gentle smiles, his careful questions about her dreams, how he'd rearranged his entire schedule to have breakfast with her, Hajun's midnight confessions, the way he'd started leaving his office door open when she cleaned, a silent invitation to stay, talk, just exist together. How both of them looked at her like she hung the moon. I do, she admitted. God help me, I love them both. Then what's the problem? They're criminals, said Dana. The Mafia. They've killed people. They also just saved my life. Her sister gripped her hands. I'm not saying it's not complicated, but love is complicated. And you deserve to be happy, even if it looks different than you planned. Before Cynthia could respond, gunfire erupted downstairs. Glass shattered. Men shouted. More gunfire. Rapid, deafening. Cynthia grabbed Adana, pulling her into the bathroom. Stay down. The door burst open. Mrs. Choi stumbled in, blood on her temple. They're here. The Parks. They broke through the gates. How many? Cynthia's heart hammered. Too many. Mrs. Choi locked the bedroom door. The twins are downstairs, but... An explosion rocked the mansion. The lights flickered. We need to move, Cynthia decided. The panic room. Seojun showed me. Third floor, Mrs. Choi confirmed. Behind the library bookshelf.
They ran.
The hallway was chaos. Staff members fleeing. Smoke rising from below. Cynthia heard Hajun's voice, cold, commanding, deadly. Then Seojun's, equally lethal. They reached the library. Cynthia's hands shook as she pulled the correct book, a red leather volume of Korean poetry. The bookshelf clicked, swung open. Inside.
Now.
Adana and Mrs. Choi disappeared into the safe room. Cynthia hesitated. Below, the fighting intensified. She couldn't just hide while. Cynthia. Seojun appeared at the library entrance, blood on his face. Get in the panic room. You're hurt. I'm fine. Get inside. Lock it. Don't open it for anyone but us. He gripped her shoulders. Promise me. Seojun. He kissed her.
Hard. Desperate.
Promise. I promise. He pushed her toward the safe room. The door sealed with a heavy thunk. Hydraulic locks engaged. Inside was luxury. Water.
Food.
Monitors showing security feeds. Cynthia watched the screens, horrified. Park family soldiers flooded the mansion.
20. 30.
Maybe more. They moved with military precision, executing staff members who didn't flee fast enough. Oh God, Adana whispered. On screen 4, Hajun fought like a demon. 3 men down already. His movements were brutal efficiency, each strike lethal, no wasted motion. On screen 4, Hajun fought like a demon. 3 men down already. His movements were brutal efficiency, each strike lethal, no wasted motion. Screen 2 showed Seojun coordinating their remaining men, barking orders, firing with deadly accuracy. But they were outnumbered 3-1. They're going to die, Mrs. Choi said quietly. The Beck twins always knew this day would come. Their father made too many enemies.
No.
Cynthia's voice was steel. No, they're not dying today. What can we do? We're locked in. Cynthia studied the control panel. This room has communications, right? External lines? Yes, but then we call for help. Cynthia grabbed the phone. What's Kim Do-jang's number? Mrs. Choi's eyes widened. The Syndicate elder? He won't. He will if he wants to stop a war. Cynthia was already dialing the number Mrs. Choi reluctantly provided. The Parks attacking the Beck's home is a violation of Syndicate law. He'll have to respond. The phone rang.
Once. Twice.
Who is this? A gravelly voice answered. My name is Oma Cynthia. The Beck mansion is under attack. Park family soldiers are executing civilians. If you don't intervene, this becomes a syndicate-wide war. Silence. The African girl, Kim Do-jang, finally said. I've heard about you. The twins' weakness. I'm not their weakness. I'm their reason to survive. Cynthia watched Hajun take a bullet to the leg on screen. Her stomach lurched. And if they die tonight, I'll make sure every Syndicate family knows the Parks murdered them in their own home. I'll go to the media, the police, international authorities. I'll burn your entire operation down. You're bluffing. Try me? Her voice didn't shake. I have nothing left to lose. Another pause. You're either very brave or very stupid. Both. Are you sending help or not? I'll have men there in 10 minutes. If the twins are still alive. The line went dead. 10 minutes. Cynthia's eyes locked on the screens. Hajun was down, still fighting from the ground, but bleeding badly. Seojun dragged him behind an overturned table. 7 minutes. The park soldiers closed in. Their leader, the scarred man from earlier, smiled as he approached the twins' position. 5 minutes. Any last words? The scarred man raised his rifle. Seojun shielded his brother. We'll see you in hell. 3 minutes. Cynthia couldn't watch. Couldn't breathe. Then sirens. Tires screeching. Doors slamming. New gunfire erupted. Different weapons, different patterns. Kim De-jang's men had arrived. The park soldiers tried retreating. Too late. They were surrounded. Cut down methodically. The scarred leader raised his hands. Surrendered. Cynthia waited until Mrs. Choi confirmed it was safe. The hydraulic locks disengaged. She burst from the panic room, flying downstairs, through smoke and blood and bodies. Seojun. Hajun. She found them in the main hall. Both alive. Both bleeding. Hajun's leg was tourniquet. Seojun's arm hung at an odd angle. But alive. You called Kim De-jang, Seojun said, voice rough with pain and something else.
Awe.
You threatened a Syndicate elder. I told him I'd burn everything down if you died. Cynthia knelt between them. Was that stupid? Incredibly stupid, Hajun managed. Then smiled, actually smiled. And the bravest thing I've ever seen. You saved us, Seojun added softly. His good hand found hers. Again. You saved my sister. We're even.
No.
Hajun's hand covered theirs. Blood-stained. Trembling. We're not even close to even. You gave us something we never had. What? A reason to live instead of just survive. Cynthia's tears finally fell. I can't lose you. Either of you. I tried telling myself it was wrong or crazy, but I don't care anymore. I love you both, and I'm staying. Even though we're criminals? Seojun asked. Even though. Especially though. She looked between them. But things change. No more senseless violence. No more trafficking. We build something better.
We.
Hajun raised an eyebrow.
We.
You think I'm just going to sit around looking pretty? I have a degree in social work, remember? Despite everything, Seojun laughed. Then winced. Broken ribs. Don't make me laugh. Idiot. Hajun muttered affectionately. Kim De-jang approached, flanked by guards. The Park family will answer for this violation. Their assets will be redistributed. His eyes settled on Cynthia. You have fire, girl. The twins chose well. I chose them, Cynthia corrected. There's a difference. The elder's lips quirked. Indeed. He nodded to the twins.
Heal.
Then we discussed the future of your territory. After he left, medics swarmed. But neither twin released Cynthia's hands. This is really happening? Hajun asked quietly. You're really choosing this life? I'm choosing you, Cynthia corrected. Both of you. The life we build together. Seojun squeezed her hand. Then we build something worth choosing. 3 months later, the Beck mansion had transformed. No more armed guards at every door. No more blood-stained marble. The staff smiled now, actually smiled, when Cynthia walked past. She stood in what used to be a weapons storage room. Now it held desks, computers, filing cabinets. A sign on the door read, Beck Foundation, Youth Outreach Program. You're really doing this, Adana said from the doorway. Her sister had stayed in Seoul, enrolled in university. turning a mafia empire into what? A charity. Not a charity. A bridge. Cynthia organized files. These kids, the ones the syndicate used to recruit, they need options. Education. Job training. A way out. And Seojun and Hajun agreed to this? They suggested it. Cynthia smiled. Turns out even mafia bosses want redemption. Footsteps behind her. Strong arms wrapped around her waist. She knew without looking Seojun. His cologne, his warmth, the way he always held her like she might disappear. The elders approved the proposal, he murmured against her neck. Kim De-jang wants us to present at the next syndicate meeting. They're actually listening? You made them listen. Hajun entered, leaning on a cane. His leg had healed but still bothered him. Threatening to expose the entire organization tends to get attention. Adana snorted. My sister, the mafia reformer. Someone has to drag you people into the 21st century, Cynthia teased. Then sobered. But seriously, this works? We can actually change things. We're trying. Seojun turned her to face him. It won't be overnight. Some families will resist. But the younger generation, they're tired of the violence. They want legitimacy. Plus, Hajun added with dark humor, the ones who resist tend to have unfortunate accidents. Hajun. I'm joking. He wasn't entirely joking. Mostly. Cynthia shook her head. You two are impossible. You love us anyway, Seojun said. Not a question anymore. Unfortunately. But she was smiling. The past 3 months had been complicated. Learning to navigate a relationship with 2 men. Men who were brothers. Men who'd kidnapped her. The world wouldn't understand. But they'd created their own world. One where Seojun planned romantic dinners and Hajun left poetry on her pillow. Where all 3 of them fell asleep tangled together, finally safe. Where love looked different but felt right. Mrs. Choi appeared urgent.
Sirs.
Miss Cynthia. We have a situation. The warmth evaporated instantly. Both twins went lethal. What situation? Hajun demanded. Park Ji-woo escaped custody. He's making threats. The scarred leader. The man who'd tried killing them all. Cynthia's blood chilled. What kind of threats? Mrs. Choi hesitated. Against you specifically. He's posted on dark web forums. Calling you the African whore who destroyed his family. There's a price on your head. 5 million won. That's barely $40,000, Hajun scoffed. Insulting, really. Not helping, Seojun snapped. He pulled out his phone, already dialing. I'm calling Kim De-jang. This violated the peace agreement. Peace agreement? Cynthia looked between them. After the attack, the families agreed to a truce. Seojun explained while waiting for pickup. The parks were supposed to stand down. This breaks that accord. Which means we can retaliate legally, Hajun said. His hand drifted to the concealed weapon at his waist. Within syndicate law.
No.
Cynthia's voice was firm. No more killing. We're breaking the cycle, remember? He wants you dead. So, we outsmart him. She thought fast. Can we trace the forum post? Find his location. Seojun's eyes lit up. You want to bait him. I want to end this. Permanently. But without adding to the body count. What do you think should happen next? Should Cynthia confront Park Ji-woo directly? Or should the twins handle it their way? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Hajun studied her. You have a plan. Maybe. How good is Syndicate security footage? Excellent.
Why?
Because if we can get him on camera making an attempt on my life, the elders have to respond. He becomes everyone's problem, not just ours.
Seojun caught on.
You want to set a trap? Use yourself as bait. Absolutely not, Hajun growled. It's the only way to force the Syndicate's hand without you two getting blamed for breaking the truce. Cynthia crossed her arms. Unless you have a better idea? Silence. I hate when she's right, Hajun muttered. I hate when she's in danger, Seojun countered. But he was thinking. Planning. We'd need the perfect location. Controlled environment. Multiple cameras. Backup positioned, but hidden. The foundation office opening next week, Cynthia suggested. Public event. Media coverage. Lots of witnesses. You're insane, Adana breathed. I'm strategic. Cynthia looked at the twins. Do you trust me? They exchanged that silent communication twins have. Finally, Seojun nodded. We trust you. But we're going to have 50 armed men in that building. Make it 100, Hajun added.
Deal.
The week passed in tense preparation. Seojun coordinated security, disguised guards as caterers, journalists, even guests. Hajun ran weapons checks obsessively. Cynthia rehearsed her speech for the foundation opening, pretending her hands didn't shake. The night before, she couldn't sleep. She found Hajun in the library. Their spot. He looked up from his book. He actually read now for pleasure and opened his arms. She curled into his lap.
Safe.
Scared, he asked softly. Terrified.
Good.
Fear keeps you sharp. His hand stroked her hair. But you know we'll die before we let him touch you. That's what I'm afraid of. She looked up at him. I can't lose you, Hajun. Either of you. You won't. He kissed her forehead. We've survived worse. We'll survive this. Seojun appeared with tea. He'd taken to caring for them both. Little gestures of domesticity from a man who used to negotiate arms deals. Can't sleep? He asked, settling beside them. Big day tomorrow, Cynthia said. The foundation opens regardless of what happens with Park, Seojun reminded her. You've already won. You've already changed everything. Have I? Look at us. He gestured between himself and Hajun. 6 months ago, we were monsters pretending to be men. Now we're men trying very hard not to be monsters. That's because of you. We choose to be better because you make us want to be, Hajun added. That's not nothing. Cynthia's throat tightened. I love you both. So much it scares me. Good, they said in unison. Then laughed. That night, they stayed tangled together in the library. No nightmares. No fear. Just 3 people who'd found something impossible and chose it anyway. Morning came too fast. The foundation office gleamed. Cameras everywhere, official ones for the media, hidden ones for security. 200 people filled the space. Politicians, journalists, community leaders, and somewhere, Park Ji-woo, waiting. Cynthia took the podium in a blue dress that matched the foundation logo. Seojun and Hajun flanked her in matching suits, looking devastating and dangerous. Thank you all for coming, she began. Her voice projected confidence she didn't feel. The Beck Foundation represents a new direction. She spotted him 15 minutes into her speech. Park Ji-woo. Scarred face. Dead eyes. Moving through the crowd with purpose. Cynthia's heart slammed against her ribs, but she didn't stop talking. A direction that prioritizes healing over violence, opportunity over exploitation. Park Ji-woo moved closer. His hand disappeared into his jacket. Seojun tensed beside her. Hajun's fingers twitched toward his concealed weapon. Because change doesn't happen through fear. It happens through choice. Park was 10 feet away now.
8.
6. Then he lunged. You destroyed everything. His hand emerged with a knife, not a gun. Smart. Guns triggered metal detectors. Cynthia didn't freeze. She'd trained for this. She sidestepped, exactly as Hajun taught her. Park's blade slashed air. Security descended immediately. But the cameras caught everything. His face.
His weapon.
His clear intent to murder her in front of 200 witnesses. Hajun had him on the ground in seconds, knee on his spine. You just signed your death warrant. Worth it, Park spat. Your whore ruined my family. Seojun's fist connected with his jaw. Watch your mouth. Kim Da-jang emerged from the crowd, flanked by other Syndicate elders. His expression was thunderous. Park Ji-woo, you violated the peace accord. Attacked in neutral territory during a public event. Threatened a civilian under Syndicate protection. She's not civilian, she's Beck family, Kim Da-jang stated firmly, which makes this an act of war. The room went silent. The elders have spoken. Another elder announced. Park Ji-woo is hereby expelled from Syndicate protection. His remaining assets are forfeit. Any family harboring him will face consequences. It was a death sentence. Without Syndicate protection, Park was vulnerable to every enemy he'd ever made. No, Cynthia said. Every head turned. Not death. Cynthia, Seojun started. I said we're breaking the cycle. She stepped forward, looking at Park Ji-woo. You wanted revenge because we destroyed your family. Killing you just continues the pattern. Someone will want revenge on us. Then revenge on them. It never ends. What are you suggesting? Kim De-jang asked, genuinely curious. Prison. Real prison. Not syndicate-owned, not paid-off guards. Turn him over to international authorities. Let him face justice properly. The elders murmured. This was unprecedented. You're weak, Park sneered.
No.
I'm smarter than you. Cynthia crouched to his level. In prison you'll live. You'll think about your choices every single day. Death is easy. Living with consequences? That's hard. Park's face twisted with hatred. But he had no response. An interesting proposal, Kim De-jang said slowly. The girl suggests we cooperate with legal authorities. Legitimize our operations through proper channels. It sets precedent. Another elder agreed. Shows we can work within international law when necessary. It makes us look weak. It makes us look evolved, Seojun interjected. The world is changing. Either we adapt or we become extinct. The vote was close, but it passed. Park Ji-woo would face trial. Real justice. No easy death. As authorities led him away, he locked eyes with Cynthia. You think you've won, but you're still just a debt payment pretending to be family. No, Hajun said coldly. She's family pretending to be patient with trash like you. After Park was gone, the foundation opening continued. Politicians praised the Beck brothers' community investment. Journalists wrote glowing profiles. The community celebrated. But Cynthia felt numb. Later, in the mansion library, their safe space, she finally broke down.
He was right, she sobbed.
I'm just the girl you kidnapped. I don't belong here. I'm playing dress-up in a world I don't understand. Stop. Seojun pulled her close. You belong here because you made this place worth belonging to. Before you, this mansion was a fortress, Hajun added, sitting on her other side.
Cold.
Empty. We existed here, we didn't live.
Now?
Chef Kim hums while cooking. Mrs. Choi smiles. The staff actually want to work here. You changed everything, Seojun continued. Not because you were forced to. Because you chose compassion over bitterness. Growth over revenge. But I'm still ours, they said together. Hajun tilted her face up. Not because of debt. Not because of contracts. Because we choose you every single day. And you choose us. Even when we're difficult, Seojun added with a slight smile. Especially when you're difficult, Cynthia managed through tears. Then it settled. Hajun kissed her forehead. You're stuck with us. Forever, Seojun agreed, kissing her temple. Forever, she whispered back. 3 months later, the Beck Foundation had helped 63 at-risk youth. 12 were in university. 21 had job training. 30 had safe housing. The syndicate was slowly transforming. Not every family agreed. Some resisted violently. But Kim De-jang backed the Beck brothers fully, and his support mattered. Cynthia stood in the mansion garden, no longer a prison, now a home, watching Seoul's sunset paint the sky orange and gold. Strong arms wrapped around her from behind. She leaned into Seojun's chest. Penny for your thoughts? He murmured. Just thinking how far we've come. 6 months ago, I was in Atlanta. Terrified. Angry.
Now.
Now I can't imagine being anywhere else. Hajun joined them, having finished a business call. His limp was barely noticeable now. The Kim family wants to replicate our foundation model. For other families are interested. We're actually changing things, Cynthia breathed. You're changing things, Hajun corrected. We're just following your lead. She turned to face them both. These impossible, complicated, beautiful men who'd somehow become her entire world. I want to make it official, she said suddenly. Official. Seojun's eyebrow raised.
Us.
This. She gestured between them. I know we can't legally marry all three of us, but we can do something. A ceremony. A commitment. Hajun's breath caught. You want to marry us? I want to promise you what you've given me.
Choice. Safety.
Home. Forever. Seojun's eyes glistened.
Yes.
Absolutely yes. Obviously yes, Hajun agreed, voice rough with emotion. 2 weeks later, in the mansion's private garden, they held a ceremony. No legal documents. No government recognition. Just Mrs. Choi, Chef Kim, Adana, and Kim Da-jang, their chosen family, witnessing 3 people promise to choose each other every day. Cynthia wore traditional Nigerian iro and buba in deep blue. The twins wore matching hanbok in black and silver. 3 rings, custom designed, interconnected, symbolized their union. I was sold to you as payment, Cynthia said during her vows. But you gave me something priceless. You gave me myself back. My choice. My power. My love. I choose you both, today and always. I was raised to be a weapon, Hajun said, voice thick. You taught me I could be human. That strength isn't just violence. That love isn't weakness. I choose you always. I was trained to negotiate everything, Seojun added. But you don't negotiate love. You surrender to it. I surrender to you. Choose you. Forever. They exchanged rings.
Kissed.
All 3 of them, tangled together, laughing and crying. Kim Da-jang raised his glass. To the family that chose each other. May you build something beautiful from ashes. To choosing love, Mrs. Choi added. To breaking cycles, Chef Kim said. To my crazy sister and her equally crazy husbands, Adana finished grinning. That night, in their shared bedroom, a space they designed together, Cynthia lay between Seojun and Hajun, finally at peace. No regrets. Seojun asked softly. Only that it took me so long to admit I loved you both. We can be patient, Hajun teased. We have forever now. Forever, she agreed. Outside, Seoul continued its chaotic existence. The Syndicate still operated. Violence still happened. Change was slow and painful. But inside the Beck mansion, 3 people who'd found each other in darkness built something luminous. Proof that love could grow anywhere. That choice was power. That family wasn't blood. It was the people you fought for, bled for, chose every single day. Cynthia had been sold to pay a debt. She'd bought herself freedom through courage. And she'd found home in the last place she'd ever expected. In the arms of twin Mafia brothers who'd learned to be human because she'd shown them how. Sometimes the most beautiful love stories start in the darkest places. Sometimes monsters become men. Sometimes captivity becomes choice. And sometimes 3 broken people create something whole. Did this story move you? Hit that subscribe button and join our Afro-Korean love stories family. We post new stories every week, tales of forbidden love, dangerous passion, and hearts that refuse to follow the rules. Check out our playlist for more emotional journeys that'll leave you breathless. And tell me, would you have made Cynthia's choice? Could you love 2 brothers? Drop your honest thoughts below. Until next time, remember, love doesn't follow rules. It writes its own story.